We're rolling into week 3. Injuries are starting to mount up. We're shuffling the deck at running back a little bit here, especially with the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Jones is going to be out for a bit. Jordan Mason is stepping up into the starting role. You want to see whether or not you need him for your fantasy football team. Is he startable? What are we thinking about him long term? We're going to deep dive the good, the bad, the ugly right here, right now, today, so you know what to do with him. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at these players every day. We're doing deep dives every day on these players. On top of that, we're doing player rankings. We're going through all the matchups, every single game, and we're going deep on the waiver wire. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint old Ric Flair back there. But big news, as Aaron Jones is going to be out for a bit, going to IR, and next man up is Jordan Mason. We got Cam Akers back on the team, and we're going to see what he's going to do, how his role is going to carve out. But right now, Jordan Mason appears to be a guy. Aaron Jones, 8 rushing attempts in week 1 against the Bears with 3 targets. He scored that touchdown. Week 2, just 5 carries and a target. We're going to IR, though, so we're going to be out for a little bit. This has been a decorated running back prospect that whenever he's healthy and on the field, he has been good to go. Jordan Mason, please stand up. 15 carries against the Bears on the road, 1 target, 9 carries against the Falcons, 3 targets in that game. That was also a broken game script. So he has been packing on some volume there. Even with sharing the backfield with Aaron Jones, it's a small sample, and it gives us a good indicator. And we got a good opportunity share for Jordan Mason at 62.2%, a snap share of 56.3%, and he's running a good route participation rate considering Aaron Jones was running a good bit of the routes. He's got a 30% route participation rate versus Aaron Jones is 40%. So he was getting the workload. He was getting opportunities, out snapping Aaron Jones. Part of that's the injury. Part of that is Jordan Mason getting a lot of opportunity against the Bears in the run game. But you're also looking at the routes ran. He was running 7.5 routes per game. Jones was running 10 on average. And yards per route run, 2.2 versus 1. Route participation rate, 40 to 30. So he is getting work in the passing game, just not enough to get us excited about him. But if that can jump up to even like 10 or 11 routes a game, that could be some good volume for him in fantasy football. You're looking at the box scores from the Falcons game and Bears game. He is out snapping Aaron Jones. The Falcons game 11-6, and then the Bears game 18-8. He's just getting more work. He's been the RB1 there anyways, and I don't see a problem of just transferring those snaps to Jordan Mason and giving him those opportunities, maybe giving him some breathers there. But yards after contact, he's been solid. 4.22 versus the Falcons versus 3.73 versus the Bears. Just good in space, grinding it out, tough to tackle, been getting good opportunities. And then on top of that, his grades have been solid. 74.7 versus the Falcons, 72.6 versus the Bears. So he's transitioning very well to this offense, this offensive line. And the spotty off and on quarterback play. He has 4 missed tackles on the season, but still looking solid. We're still waiting for him to cross the goal line with a carry here. That could potentially happen. The big thing to look at here is Carson Wentz. Now, J.J. McCarthy likely out at least 2 weeks, could be longer. And we're looking at Carson Wentz and how he gels with the offense, the pace of play here, and how are they going to use the run game. If you really think about it, they're probably going to grind it out a little bit, funnel it to Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't be surprised if Wentz is good in this offense. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a veteran. He's 32 years old. He's been in the league for a long time. He's ran some offenses. Definitely an up and down career, but I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps things going. This is a team that historically has done good with backup quarterbacks, and those backup quarterbacks have performed and exceeded expectations. This is a veteran quarterback that's been around the league, and you got some weapons here for him to lean on when you look at Hawk, you look at Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison eventually coming back. You look at Jordan Mason. Mason's definitely good between the tackles. He's been holding it down. Good yards after contact per attempt. Would not be surprised if Wentz shows up, looks better than expected. Jordan Mason, undrafted in 2022. The fact that we made it this far is a testament to how good he's on the field, to his vision, to how he plays the game, acceptiveness to coaching staff and critiques and everything else. And you're also looking at what he did with the 49ers last year. 3 RB1 weeks, 1 RB2 game. He got banged up a little bit last year. And when you look at the injury reports, he usually gets hit up with a little something every year. A little something. So keep that in mind when you're looking at Jordan Mason for the rest of the season during this time with Aaron Jones out as well. And you're looking at the depth chart here. Right behind him, Xavier Scott. So you go to the practice squad. They brought back Akers. You also have Valladay there. Looking at what we have here in Scott, special teamer, undrafted free agent, good size adjusted athleticism. We still got to see what he can do on the field. But you go to Cam Akers. He has a history with the Vikings. Formerly good size adjusted athleticism, but we got hit up with some big-time injuries. Back in 2022, we were very good in fantasy during the back end of that season. And then we come back in 2024. We're serviceable for football's sake. We're serviceable. And you're just looking at his production throughout the years. We were with the Rams. It was off and on. Back with Minnesota, going to Houston, back with Minnesota. Now we're looking at his efficiency metrics last year with Minnesota. Wasn't the greatest running back out there. Yards created per touch, 50th among running backs. Yards created, 51st. Juke rate, 15th. Evaded tackles, 40th. Explosive rating, 12. He's got some pop in the step. He knows the offense. He's a veteran running back. He can be good in short bursts. They're getting him up to speed, as you know it. Valladay's got an interesting prospect profile. He went undrafted. He's good at catching the ball out of the backfield. He just hasn't hit it anywhere yet. And he's a guy to pay attention to if this backfield starts to break down. But you're looking at the opportunity shares in this backfield. Jordan Mason was already winning it with a 33% opportunity share, splitting it with a 10% target share with Aaron Jones, getting 58 snaps versus 48 snaps, out-snapping Aaron Jones. It was tighter in some of those game scripts, though. That being said, Jordan Mason was looking good in the run game, getting the rushing attempts at a 53% clip versus Jones's 29% clip. Maybe they use somebody else in the passing game, but when you really look at the volume and you're looking at 10 routes for Aaron Jones per game, 7.5 for Jordan Mason, maybe you just bump it up a little bit for Jordan Mason, give a sprinkle to one of the other running backs, and you move on. The schedule coming up here, it's very interesting. We're only 2 games in, so a lot of these projections, when you're looking at fantasy points allowed to running backs, could be up and down going forward. But the Bengals game, as you know, could be rather advantageous right now. If he hits in this game, and you look at the schedule coming up, because after that, you got the Steelers game, and Breece Hall lit them up, so there's a chance he lights them up. They're middle of the road right now when it comes to fantasy points allowed to running backs. They have allowed 249 yards on the ground. He's going to get touches and carries up the gut, less work in the passing game. They're allowing a lot of work on the ground to running backs. If you see that, only 3 balls caught. So that could be a good matchup for him to grind it out, especially if Wentz is kicking it. But if he kills it against the Bengals and potentially the Steelers, you may want to wash your hands. You got a London game against the Browns. You do not know who's going to be the quarterback for that. The Browns' defense is nasty, better than last year, underrated. Vegas isn't caught on to them. I have, because they have been killing it. They stuffed the Bengals. They stuffed the Ravens. They stuffed Derrick Henry. Now they got the Packers. Those numbers might change due to the quarterback play just being horrendous with Cleveland. That's a horrible matchup. Then we know Philly. Philly's a nasty matchup. Chargers have been keeping all the running backs at bay. That's something to pay attention to. Detroit's very volatile against the run, and that's going to be another tough matchup for them, especially right now. They're only allowed 162 yards on the ground, and they're not going to try and throw it to the running backs. So if he hits big in these next 2 games, and we're looking at Aaron Jones being out longer, you may want to sell. You may want to sell and get out because you got a rough set of matchups ahead of you, And it does not get lighter until Aaron Jones is really back. You got the Bears, then you got the Packers. Then you got Seattle, which could be fine for you, but it could change by then. Then you got Washington. You got a rough schedule after that. So, really, like, you can mess around with him this week and next week. If he hits, I look to just get my payout and move on. That's probably what I would be doing when I'm looking at that schedule, because it's going to be past Halloween time before things start to lighten up. And you're looking at the rankings. And this is for Fantasy Pros. Their ECR, this is an average off of 27 rankers here. Experts, I think they're too high here in the flex rankings. Like, he shouldn't be ahead of Javonte Williams. He's had back-to-back 20-plus weeks. Ashton Genty's going to get volume. Rome Odunze's been hitting it. Breece Hall's got an interesting matchup. Let's call it like that. You're looking at some of the wide receivers. How is he ahead of Kenneth Walker? Like, T-Max below him when you know he's going to get 9, 10, 11, 12 targets. James Conner's safer. You know who his quarterback is. He's got a matchup that could roll. Kyren Williams, not so safe, not the greatest matchup. You can flip coins on that maybe. Emeka Buka, he's not out at practice today. Debo, his quarterback play, but he's been hitting. I think he's ranked too high in the flex. Then you go to the running back rankings, and Javonte Williams is all of a sudden ahead of him. So I do not know what they're trying to do here. I still think he's a little bit high. I think he needs to be lower. I think he's more of a flex play that you're going to flip a coin on. I feel like he's going to be safe for touches. You're hoping he crosses the goal line. The fact that he's getting over 3 yards after contact per attempt, pushing 4, that's good. It's good. The volume in the offense, Carson Wentz, it's unpredictable. You got a good matchup here. This matchup lends the high scoring if you had the former quarterbacks in, which you're not. And it's also a coin flip. It could be ugly. You got the two best wide receivers in the game in this matchup. Former LSU wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, going at it, pushing the game script. This could be an ugly one, or it could be one of the better games on the slate because there's so much wild card to this matchup. He's a coin flip flex play. You're not going to know what you're going to get. You do know you're going to get double-digit touches, double-digit opportunities. You're probably going to get around 15 to 20 opportunities in this matchup, which could volume yourself into good RB2 production. And if you cross the goal line, into more. So he's semi-safe for 10 to 12 PPR fantasy points. If you're wondering about the wide receivers in your flex spot and you're nervous about him, those running back touches make him a little bit safer. He should be roughly safe for 10, 11, 12. Now pushing to 20, 25, 30. Something's got to break loose. He's got to cross the goal line around twice. And he's also got to break off a run or two for that to happen. Odds are kind of against that considering the quarterback play. It's also unknown. That's one thing about that. And you're looking at Jordan Mason. He's projected to score 16.29. He has missed projections every single week. When I looked at that and talked about his potential, I said 10, 11, 12. That seems right for me. For him to beat 16.29, he's going to have to score 2 touchdowns. There's a chance for that, but also it's very risky due to Carson Wentz. So I think the odds of him hitting 17 fantasy points or more, I think if you played this game 10 times, he would do it 3 times, so a 30% chance. That's what I got in my head. You got Pittsburgh coming up. Similar projection. There's a chance for that. I think it's similar with the Bengals. You'll know more after Carson Wentz. If he hits this week and next week, definitely unload him before you get to the Browns game in a bye. And then you got a couple rough matchups after that. So what the fuck are you going to do with him? If you got a coin flip at flex, you can throw him in. If you're jacked at wide receiver, or if you're still good at running back, maybe you just watch from afar because we do not trust Wentz yet. This offense, how it's going to look. If you need the running back touches. And I think he's going to be good for 15 opportunities. That's targets and carries together. I think he's good with that. That could volume him into RB2 results. I think no matter what, if he plays well against the Bengals and the Steelers, I am sending him out in trade offers. I'm trying to selling the high, maybe package him up with my third, fourth best wide receiver, see if I can get an upgrade at running back. I'm going to look at the schedules coming up. I'm going to see if I can get an upgrade at wide receiver. Maybe that can allow me to buy low on a wide receiver, one that has played bad in the last couple games. I'm going to use that because if I have him, odds are I'm good at running back still, unless I got hit up with some more injuries. So it can take that hit of him leaving, me losing those touches and opportunities to chase that upside, considering the schedule is not going to be favorable after we get past the Bengals and Steelers matchups. So there will be a good month of rough matchups that you may not even start him if you're jacked on your team. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.